Greetings and welcome back to Anno 1800, well, Megacity edition, let's call it like this still. I don't know if we reach Megacity status because I don't know if we ever get another island again. But it's so far, we are golden with engineers now in Sleepy Hollow as of the last episode. And now I would finally work a bit on my shipbuilding capabilities. And for this, over here, in my soldier industry zone, kind of like, we do have a building that I've totally missed so far. It's the Navy Recruitment Office. And this one actually recruits naval personnel to use as a resource to build ships. It's producing sailors at a whopping 1 ton per minute. Alright, so that's a bunch of people. And they also consume then 10 soldiers each. So in this case here, let's have the Navy Recruitment Office. There's a blue radius around it, so I guess it's exclusive, right? So there can't be another one in its vicinity. So let's just check it out here in my soldier area. Yes, right, so this is the overlapping radius, and the next one I would need to build then over here somewhere. So let's do it. Why not? All the way down here by the docks as well. How does it look now, by the way? So this is our main road that we have there, that I'll also need to remodel a bit, but we'll just see. And there it is. And it's producing actually just now people out of residences in the area. Oh, okay. It's getting boosted by residences in the area. So in this case here, by 243% is the total productivity. For the one without it, we're looking at 0. Okay, so this doesn't make sense at all. There is no, overlay or anything like that. That's the question. Normal people work. Yes, normal people work, right? And they actually give me an even higher productivity. So let's go ahead and get me my naval office recruitment center. Yeah, somewhere in this area where we have some peeps rolling around, I think this one might be a good area already. So I'm just gonna delete them and just gonna get them in. It's not completely used, right? But it's fine. It's 355 productivity and we already produce sailors. Pretty funny that this is actually a resource now. And then we still need one more thing, and that's now really ammunition. So for ammunition, we are producing now the shells from our harbor defenses, but you need to have ammunition, you need to have the same factory for the ammunition. Otherwise, you cannot produce ships, right? So this one switches to ammunition. This needs lead and gunpowder, and this needs steel and gunpowder. This brings me once again, by the way, yeah, let's actually turn off one of my weapon factories to reduce my steel consumption. And then what I need is a bit more gunpowder. So we're producing this here. And now, only now do we see the electricity symbol. So I was already worried a bit up to this point why it's not there. Right, so this is also probably a mod. Now we have the electricity symbol there for every building that I can boost them with it potentially. Alright, with that we have sailors and the ammunition coming in, and with that we can then build ships. So hopefully in this episode we'll be able to finish the first ships of the line. We also got this new ship here, the Duke, a 3-decked ship of the line with even more firepower. We're talking about, yeah, a whopping 30% increase in firepower. So the Duke is probably one of my first ships to take the battle to my enemies. Speaking about my enemies, we do have a bit of money and influence. We might try to purchase some of those islands. Is this possible? It is theoretically possible. So especially Miss Hunt's islands here, I would like to have a go at them, even though this is ridiculously expensive. 77,000 for an island like this. It's barely developed. Let's go with this one. It's cheaper, and I will not be able to afford 2 of them. This one's better though, right? Much better. Let's go with this island here. That's the island I would like to take over. We continue with upgrading, especially here along the main road. A bunch more engineers, and also here. There you go. This unlocks me more buildings, more mechanics. Oops, that was the wrong skin. That's the right skin. We've also unlocked construction material tier 5, the reinforced concrete, and there we have it. We need the limestone quarries to get 3 potential sites in Sleepy Hollow. This is the first one. So let's get the limestone quarry on its way, producing now, yeah, I think it's 2 tons, right? Yeah, 2 tons per minute of limestone. That means we can have 2 concrete factories with that, but of course that's not enough, so I would like to push at least 1 more. Gonna have me my warehouses here, and then also the next limestone quarry. So with that we can at least get 4 going now. And yeah, let's have them at the outer edge here. We can squeeze them in, just like that, without using any more space than that, right? They're also in the vicinity of a trade union, and they will get boosted by the power plant. There's also something called the Navy Recruitment Kiosk, by the way, to recruit even more personnel. It's just taking up one slot, has a tiny radius, but yeah, it probably gets the job done, right? So if we have them here in these tiny road spaces that we have, we can push out even more sailors.
I'd hate to punish you, but if that's what it takes...
Even more important, of course, is also spend some coin here on Manoler. Schon have Fortune declared war on us. Okay, that's okay. We don't care about the pirate at this point. There's barely any defenses here, so we might try and take this over with my Duke then once we have it. Yeah, I really need to get this island here back, or this peninsula. So that's my goal. Taking this one over, oh no, okay. This is too much, right? It's 4 millions as a takeover cost, so we can actually get rid of this again, so you can purchase this at some point. We can only take this by force. That's basically it. And how's this one looking here? Takeover cost 3.7 million is also quite a lot. Also gonna remodel my soldier area a bit. The way it's been going was not that great, so now we have all of the service buildings come together here, you know, for this one. I don't see that much reason right now to continue upgrading them, because we have a lot of workforce, right? And I was expecting more workforce that we need, but it's actually not that bad so far. So let's actually get the main road for the military camp down here. This gives me the ability to expand now my train then here, right? So this is gonna be basically my train line here that we need. So it continues to go up then here into the north, through all of this island here into this area, and then into this area here. Alright, that we can keep this area clear and yeah, build my housing around that a bit more efficiently. So I think... Actually, I would like to keep a bit of a space here around the recruitment center. And then we have those buildings here. Nah! It's once again just one tiny piece. Alright, we can still make this work. Actually gonna move the recruitment center a bit further inward so we get more buildings in here, right? I think this is much safer to use. And with that we just get this exactly one space that I need. Push this one, there you go. That's what I like to see. Perfect. And of course you do the same thing again. It's just crazy how much you can actually do with moving a bunch of buildings around. This goes over here, right? And then we have this area for blocks, like that. And this is the train, so that should do the job. Let's finish the remaining tents, right? Got the service in the area, and yeah, then we can actually just continue with the upgrading. These guys here, I like the upgraded versions. And this one looks a bit more sophisticated now. Alright, we need more nitro or more saltpeter, so I'm gonna finish my next one here. It's a very high pollution building, by the way. I continue with my planning of the train network, so we probably will push into this area at some point. So I'm gonna make me a bit of a turn up here, right, to not go through the whole city there all the time. And this also means that here we do have still a bit of space to navigate. This road here, or this run, is gonna be a train as well, but just a one-way train, so I'm not entirely sure yet which one we are using. Anyway, I can safely use this area here for a bit more city expansion. Right, so that's my blocks of housing that I can still add here. And then we probably could leave a bit of a buffer or not towards the trains then. We'll just see. Right, she's actually using this area to attack. We don't have towers here. A bit of a weak spot, yep. And she's destroying my fisheries again. She really hates my fisheries.
The fire left.
I continue with building another city district. right over here, just like so. Beautiful, isn't it? And let's continue with also here, those entrances. Some details need to be changed, of course. Oh, we also finished or leveled up another expert good. It's probably the horses, right? Yeah, the horses leveled up already 2 times, by the way. So with that, we should have a nice ratio. Out of the 150, we need only 600 now, right? So from 6 to 1, it actually changed to 4 to 1 now with those 2 upgrades. So we don't need that many horses anymore for the fur coats. She's coming in again, just as the siege was ending, to really be determined destroying my fisheries here, it seems. But she's losing those ships fast. By the way, there's some loot here to be had. Let's actually go for it. You don't get that chance so often to collect loot. Do we actually, that's the question, use shell ammunition now?
Ship under attack.
Not entirely sure.
Your island is under
Okay,
attack.
fur coat. And some penny file things. Alright, I'll take them. And I will need to, yeah,
Your people are
push a
rioting.
few more harbor defenses here. It is required. Hooray! What we can also see is there's a lot of reinforced concrete coming in. Finally, that means, yeah, we are on the verge of trains. This one here is in the way though for getting it. We do have the whole logging industry, more or less, that I still need to move somewhere. This could be... actually, it's not that much work, right? We're gonna lose 1 logging camp that I'm gonna move up here, and that's it. And with that, we move the whole industry up here into the mountains and got this space available all of a sudden. And by the way, yes, I know my farmland is on fire. Everything here is burning and also in ruins already. There is my fire station. I'm gonna add another one, and we also got some riots here that I don't like so much. So there's already 3 police stations. So this should be fine. These guys here, they need to have a connection though. And let's get rid of all of that. With this out of the way, let's continue with my future train network, right, that we have now. I would like to make it here. So I realized this is pretty similar to last year's layout, right? But yeah, I think this is still one of the best ones that I can come up with. Also that it looks natural and efficient. And then we have our train here. I'm probably trying, wait a second, to not waste any space this time. Here. What is that? That's my freshwater source. Let's get it up there. By the way, sorry, let's have a look at that. Freshwater, yes, I realize that we need a bit more of that. Since we expanded a couple of districts. There's so many goods to juggle around this time with the mod. A bit hard for me to track all of this, and I also realized that my schnapps is a bit low, but that's because my potatoes are on fire. All right, let's have this one now. Here, right? Yeah, let's have it here. So this is the train coming then here. Here, that's the one that you want to use for that, and then we have the connection going over here into that area. Alright, going here. And then we are already in the oil fields. Now for the oil fields, we're gonna need the reinforced concrete. Right, that's the oil refinery. And as we can see,
The fire left ruins behind.
I should be able to get all of them in with one.
Hide the bottle.
We are perfect. Right, all of them, that's 6 oil fields. And from them, we are just going to have then the trains going. And this is a lot of steel beams. We have the steel beams going into this area. There's going to be the bridge. By the way, I don't need that one anymore. I'm just going to... Can we have it like so? We can. Perfect. And here, it's going to go into 2 tracks then, right? Because you need to have 2 trains going in and out of this area. So that's going to change then here. And then... it's gonna be that, and now what we can do is I can get rid of this. Right, I just had this one for demonstration purposes. What we can do now is I can make a proper area out of that, and that's with a wall, of course. Some of you have been complaining, yes, the wall is not looking that great, but it still makes the most sense to me, right, to have a wall here as protection. And we can now take this one and just move it like so. And with that, continue our train network then indefinitely. Especially here in the city area, it makes absolute sense to use walls as protection. So that children and, yeah, things like that cannot get hurt. And here we have it then also, the soldiers can take care of themselves, but I'm still gonna have the wall here because I think it looks aesthetically the most pleasing. We can, of course, in the countryside use more trees then as a buffer. But here for the city area, I would definitely like to go with something like that. And I think here we will need to do this manually again. Now, of course, as always, the trickiest part are the bridges. I really don't like them because we cannot make them parallel. In this case, it looks a bit like so. No way I can do it any other way, as far as I know at least. And we don't need to have any wall here by the water. There's not going to be any people. This goes then down all the way further into my docks that we have here. Instead of this fishery, I don't need that. By the way, we can finish the last cannon there now. And then in this area, I would like to have now my oil harbor. Small oil harbor it is. Let's move this one a bit further down. How much further down can we actually move this one? As close to the cannons there as possible, I think. Ah, this is the end. And then I should be able to have my docks here. And by the way, while we're here, yes, let's commission the first Duke. We can actually go with the second Duke already. Let's do it. It will take 15 minutes to finish that ship. Make the waypoint here, and in 15 minutes, we're gonna get our first warship as well. Boy, this is an episode full of milestones. Let's move the fire station. We can have 2 bridges here again. And here is then the entry point into my harbor. Right, and let's also have a wall here, at least this area still. Okay, so that workers don't accidentally fall onto the tracks. Let's build all of the walls. That's 32,000 that it cost me, by the way. But it should also add some nice attractiveness bonus there. Nice. Let's build the oil harbor. Right. And now, I think we've already made the connection now, right? Yeah. Now we just need to finish all of these. Can we do this? We can. Perfect. And with that, the oil production is running. Let's push it by another 50% right away. Doesn't cost me any unhappiness whatsoever. And since it's 6 of them, this should push it up to 900. Very nice. And there's the train that we have now rolling in through the city. Of course, as always, starting with the oil, and then we will push towards passengers as well. This all looks a bit naked right now. But fret not, of course, we're gonna improve it soon. By the way, we got the main avenue here. We could use it for now to also get a crossing here to the other side. Otherwise, this one is not having a connection, which it needs.
I can recognize a cruel bastard.
Once again, we continue a bit with city development. The problem right now is that we have too many farmers and too many workers then especially as well. So this will be costly on my construction materials. By the way, what's going on here? That's a cemetery once again. So I would like to also have now a proper city cemetery area somewhere. This one, right? So we have the central park here. Yeah, it is realistic to integrate this one into a central park down the road. Perhaps there is an even more upgraded version than that one. We'll just see. For now, I could use this area here, since this is already existing for us, to have a nice city cemetery here, right? And I think this is the connection then. Let's build this one. The range of this is rather big, right? It goes all the way up here, and with upgraded roads, of course, further then. Also, it's a nice one. Has some trees already around that, so it doesn't make sense for me to add more trees around it or so, because the asset already provides most of it. The only thing I would like to do here is, of course, extend my road decorations that we have over there. Okay, and with that we can also upgrade the next row of houses here, so that we reduce gradually the number of farmers. And then also workers down the road, because I really don't want to add more farmer industries, right? Like schnapps production. Quite the opposite, we should reduce it at some point. So we need less farmers. We still have way too many, but now we are bound by timber. Of course, all of this has one problem, and that's my increased consumption in worker goods and in farmer goods. So before I build new industries, though, in this case, let's boost the ones that we have, and that's these here. We have the schnapps, we have the framework knitters, we have the bread, we got the beer, the canned food, right? So it's most of my essential goods here that we have together. And then also in my industry zone, we got the sewing machines, we got the steel, we got the steel beams production, all of that we're also going to need in higher demand. Right now, we do have 300, well, tons of oil in my harbor area, so we can use this now to get this going. For this I do need to have my power plant now. We do have also this river power plant, that is a new one that we could have here. The river power plant provides then power to a small surrounding area, as you can see, right? But that's it. So it might even make sense to have a bit of an industry zone close to it, somewhere. Yeah, here for example, look at that. For this area, it would make sense to boost my whole weapon production industry. We could use a river power plant down the road. But for now, of course, for this, we're using a normal one. And this is something that we're going to have then somewhere here in the center. The train is going here, choo-chooing into this area and also here, right? So it makes sense to me to take this approach here and get it then down into that area. For this, I will need to move my warehouses a bit. There are a lot of them. And also to make a connection here of the road. Otherwise, we're cutting off the power plant, limiting its reach with that, which would be needless. And then I'm also going to move these guys here. And these guys. So we could move them all down here. Got lots of space there still. Right, and with that we got this area here available for a nice juicy power plant that will affect the whole area here at some point. There you go. Goes all the way into this area now, and even further if we continue with the upgrading of the road network. We don't need to affect the goulash factories here, because in this case we're gonna get rid of them, of course, again once we have Chef Michel. Which, by the way, with the amount of money we have right now, is realistic soon. Okay, so in this case, this is the line then, right? So here we have the bridge. We're probably just gonna keep one bridge, because now I also need to have my train going here. And of course, the train goes through, right? We have workers here. I think I need to get rid of that. Oh, it actually goes over there. Very nice. And with that we have the connection here. Whoa, it's loud. And busy. There you go. And with that we have the connection. Oh, wait a second, let's have it here. This goes over and then it continues here. There we can make a crossing. There we can make a crossing. And then we have this one also now going over and then here. This is industry zone, so I don't feel like I need to have walls here everywhere. This is a bit nasty, unfortunately. Perhaps we can make this a bit cleaner looking. Much better. And then we can build it. And with that we have the connection established and the power will flow soon. Thus, doubling the output of all of these here. I would like to do the same thing. So we're gonna take another power plant. 2 we can definitely afford and use it in this area for my whole heavy industry. And once again, we're gonna take this road, going to this point. Connection established. Now I need a few bricks and then we can get going. And this is also where it's important now to have double tracks, otherwise the trains are blocking each other, right? Because one train always takes one track system, and this approach here is now the cleaner one, even though that is not so good looking to me right now.
You prove yourself innocent. You broke the key off in the lock.
And there the power is flowing. We can also see this here now, as the output is doubling. 100% improvement for all the framework knitters, for all the bakeries, for all the breweries. Of course, at first glance, this looks now fantastic, right? Because now look at that. We have huge surpluses here, also for the bread. The problem is, of course, the input can't keep up with it. So we have way more potato demand now, wool demand, pig demand. So in this case, or bread demand, flour demand. So in this case, we still need to push this. Sheep farms you cannot push with electricity for some strange reasons. So we just need to get more sheep farms going. Yeah, we take these blocks here that we already have, right? And push them a bit further. Let's get this one down. There's my wool. This will lead to an increase. Very good. With that, we are equal there again. Bear in mind, I don't need to have the full equality there, right? Because we don't need that much schnapps. So I don't need to have that many potato farms, theoretically. But since they're dirt cheap, I'm just gonna go ahead for now and add them. We will get rid of them again once the docklands are leveled up properly. The pigs we have up here. We have these nice blocks there with the silos integrated as well. So they're really easy to expand. Here though, we need to get rid of this road there. So that we can add another area full with piggies. And I think we might be limited then with the amount of timber I have. Yep. Alright, unfortunately we see a massive attack by Miss Hunt. We got the Duke finished, by the way.
All will be consumed.
Holy cow, what is that? I totally did not see this coming. I was so engulfed in all my industry.
Ship under attack.
Attention for the
Okay, the Duke was finished. And hopefully we're not losing it again right away.
Is under attack.
Oh my god, what an attack. She's not playing it that smart right now because she's focusing on that while we take care of some of those ships there. Can I still add a bunch more? Yes, we can still add a bunch more here in the back. Holy cow, what an attack. So many ships of the line.
Fire. Left ruins.
There is no
Ship was destroyed.
And we got no flamethrowers. Flamethrowers would have been amazing right now. Come on, Yuki. You can do this. I'm gonna use him over there, shielded by the cannons.
every gun.
What an attack. I'm really baffled right now. Okay.
Decks ripped.
Ship
All the frigates are gone at this point. The Duke is still there. My flagship is probably gonna go down now too. Okay, she's, I think, retreating now. Yeah, she can't come up with that defense here, but bam, that actually kicked in now. Okay. Perhaps we can take this one here down still. There you go. Nice. Or is she coming back again?
Just say the word.
Let's actually try to get some loot here. There's so much stuff that she might have dropped some nice things for us. That was a huge surprise to me right now. Whew. Alright, of course this whole area is destroyed.
Hate the rudder.
It's gonna cost me. Okay, she will be coming back, so I really need to get the flamethrower going.
On our way.
Got the chains again. She usually drops. There's some good items here though. That's almost worth 200,000. If we can sell it. Production building improvement. Good items. Good items that we have there.
Steersman.
Okay. We need to wait now for the siege to be over before I can rebuild, right? You can't rebuild while the island is on siege. But that was very close to losing my main island. We need to get the defense rolling. I need to double that defense at least, and I need to get the flamethrowers, which means we need to get to the Arctic as fast as possible because we need technicians to unlock us the flamethrowers. It's gonna be expensive, it's gonna be risky, it's gonna be dangerous, but it's necessary if we want to survive with that city here. Whew, what an ending! Onwards to the next episode, the Arctic. Stay tuned!